vehicles. Here to unpack the ratings for two of them is Raul Arbelaez, the Vice President for our Vehicle Research Center. So Raul, we're going to talk through ratings for the Tesla Cybertruck and the Ford F-150 Lightning. Before we do that, be sure to hit that subscribe button or like and follow so you never miss our content. So Raul, thank you for spending some time here.
Yeah.
We evaluated these vehicles in crash avoidance testing as well as one crash test. Let's start with that crash avoidance testing.
Yeah.
Our pedestrian crash prevention test, we do this daytime and nighttime scenarios. How did these two vehicles perform there?
So overall, it's really great news for these vehicles. The Cybertruck had great performance in every scenario we conduct, avoided every single crash. F-150 also performed well enough to earn a good rating, but was not able to completely avoid every crash.
Yeah, there was one scenario where it was able to significantly reduce impact speed,
Right.
but not completely avoid, but that is still a very solid outcome.
It's a great outcome, performed really well.
All right, so two good ratings there. Let's
Right.
shift over to headlights. We do evaluate headlights for both visibility and glare. How did these ones do?
So F-150 also performed pretty well. You know, it didn't earn our top rating of good, but has acceptable rated headlights, which is pretty good. The Cybertruck, on the other hand, because it had too much glare, it received a poor rating. Excessive glare, which can blind drivers in other vehicles, is something we don't want to see, right? We want to see better visibility down the road, but not so much that it's harmful to other drivers. And so it received a poor rating. Hopefully in future designs they can improve that.
All right, so acceptable rating for the F-150 Lightning, a poor rating for that Cybertruck with that excessive glare. We also evaluated each of these pickups in one of our crash tests. It's our newest test, the updated moderate overlap crash test. Can you tell us how they did there?
Again, mixed results here for the F-150. Unfortunately, it received a poor rating. The Cybertruck, on the other hand, performed really well, earned a good rating in this test.
All right, so let's talk about that F-150 Lightning. Overall rating of poor, but where did we see the issues? Was it up front?
No, so for this crash mode for 30 years now, we've had a front-seated occupant, right? Same test configuration. It actually performed really well. The biggest concerns and downgrades were for that rear-seated occupant. And what we saw was, one, the curtain airbag, the side curtain airbag, got hung up on the B-pillar. We had some high neck tension on that rear dummy, some elevated chest injury measures, and some submarining of the seatbelt, which can cause some soft tissue injury in the abdominal region.
Yeah, that's just not something we want to see.
We don't want to see that, right? So all of those added up to a poor rating, which is certainly not something we want to see in a modern vehicle.
And how about the Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck was a different story. It performed really well, good enough to earn a good rating in this very challenging moderate overlap crash test.
So both the driver dummy was well protected. That rear seat occupant, we saw a minor downgrade there, but it wasn't much enough to bring down the overall.
That's right. Some elevated chest injury measures. That component rating was downgraded from a good to an acceptable, but still pretty good for that body region and good enough to earn a good rating for the vehicle in that crash mode.
Now, as our viewers are watching this test, they might be noticing some flexing around the occupant compartment there, up on sort of the top part of the door. Is that something that we're concerned about in this test?
In general, anytime there's flexing and collapse of an occupant compartment, that is of concern. But in this case, what I think we're seeing is mostly that exterior sheet metal that's flexing independently of the main structure.
An overall rating of good for the Cybertruck. That's good news. Unfortunately, a poor for that F-150 Lightning. If you want to learn more about these ratings or